Hello and welcome to the Random Thought Show. My name's Jacob Tober.
And my name's Durham McInnes. On the show we talk about anything and everything in fitness, high performance and health.
Welcome back to another episode of the Random Thought Show.
Hey guys. So I want to talk about something that I got a little oblivious to. You built a new version of the app. Like you mentioned it in passing, but it's great.
Well, we should define build. I didn't really do the building.
Commissioned.
I commissioned and designed. I designed.
Yeah,
it was my plans, yeah. So our app has been in the world for 3 years now, a little while. And we just built it as an interval timer for athletes for their off-season training. And for
Well, it was more, I think you're underselling why we built it. We felt a significant frustration with the fact that over summer people were putting all this great work in for 48 weeks and then doing not much apart from body surfing and then coming back and getting injured in January. And so we developed a whole suite of solutions to try and fix that. So we wrote programs for everyone. We did videos about acute to chronic workload ratio. And we decided that we wanted a zero excuse environment. We wanted to make a tool that would help people to do all this stuff. And we built everything we care about in terms of maintaining that, or everything we cared about that we could easily do into that first one.
Could be done in under a fortnight.
Yeah, and it's been great. It's been one of those things where you do it, you kind of put it out in the world, and you make it for free, so anyone who can get it can. And we get we still just the other week we got lovely feedback from someone.
This personal trainer, and by the looks of it, and I suppose you call them an Instagram influencer, if that's still a thing. Over in America with 300,000 followers, shared it. We'd never met her, no idea who she was. She said, "Hey, I love this interval timer. It's everything you need." Shared it. We got 1,000 extra downloads out of that over in the States. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And because we built an app that scratched our niche. We wanted timers that did certain things.
Yeah, and so we built it specifically for our needs.
So let's talk about what you got in version 1. And because there's still a lot of people like, "Oh, you guys have got an app," and they're not across it.
We've got an app. So so it's an interval timing app. As the name suggests. And so we've got some pre-built workouts that we do and we program a lot here. So 8 and 12s, which is our one of the most scientifically backed ways to build your anaerobic fitness and your off-legs training, I suppose you'd call it.
Yep. And with each thing, the thing I really like that you've built into it is the fact that you can press the information button, takes you through to a little kind of micro article and then a YouTube video on exactly how to do it.
Which, if you're not on aeroplane mode, shows up down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Yeah, so we've got 8 and 12s, Game Fit, which is the workout you came up with ages ago.
For the 2006, in preparation for the 2007 World Championships for the under-21 Sapphires,
And so Game Fit is a workout that was built for basketball, but we've actually, since then, it went through its own iterations as well, and we've built it to be more universal in terms of it's just a great way to get sprinting, acceleration, deceleration, change of direction, zigzagging, backpedaling type load into any athlete who does those movements in their sport.
It's a great way to avoid the ultimate trap, which is that you're trying to do some form of preparation, but you end up, like you're trying to perform something with anaerobic and speed work, but you end up just turning it into a jog. Because that's all we want to do is we just want to take it and make it a jog.
Humans are fantastic at pacing.
Yeah.
Which is another thing we'll get to in a bit as well. Yeah. So Game Fit is a workout there. You do that in quarters, so to mimic sport. And so you have you do a 10 in one, which is where on a basketball court or a tennis court, you go from baseline to baseline, 10 sprints in 1 minute. Then you do this little mini circuit for a 3-minute effort where it's sprint,
which
rest.
Is tough.
I did some when I was on my summer last year. I was like, I'll train like the athletes. I think I did 2 quarters. 2 quarters at once. And I was like, I'm going to go back to my long runs. I don't play sport anymore. This is my cup of tea. But yeah, it is tough. And if you want to mimic your like the heart and lungs and the gasping for air feeling you get in the end of 4 quarters, do 4 quarters of Game Fit.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
That will cook you. The next one we had was our repeat sprint timer, which is, we're cheating here on this one. It's really just a countdown clock. Because repeat sprints is just you do it for as long as you need to.
But here's the thing. It's amazing how many people will say, "Oh, I forgot what you told me on how to do it." You press that I button and it's going to tell you, again, you've got an article
and instructions on how to do the work.
A nice vlog with some nice music as well that you made on how to do it. So I think that's important.
Yeah. So good point.
It's a timer, but it's telling you how to do the thing.
It's an info timer. That's what that is. Yeah, and so you do repeat sprint. So it's a sprint, decel, walk back to the line, sprint again. So that one's, and with that one, it's nice. You can tailor the distance of your sprint for your sport. So your basketball, netball, volleyball, 10 to 20 metres, football, soccer, 20, 30, maybe even 40 metres for your AFL guys as well and girls. Then we had a stretching timer. This is the one I use the most.
Yeah.
I love our stretching timer.
It's great.
Because the problem with stretching is you do the first leg and you're really good, and then you get bored on the second leg and you do half the amount of time.
Or you do take it for too long and you have to think. Like, I want to be able to think about other things. Stretching's boring. It's the broccoli of sport, but I want to do it consistently. And I tend to find I either do it too quickly or too slow. And this just kind of kept me on pace and just relaxing. And I really like how it just tells you what to do. It's like, do this, do that.
Yep.
I love that feature, yeah.
And so it's built for our crouching 3. But what's really nice is, you strretch for 30 seconds. If you're on a stopwatch, you have to stop it, reset position, hit start again. It's got a little 5-second position swap timer.
And we
which
agonised over the timer, didn't we?
We tried 3, we tried 10, ended up landing on 5 between legs and then 10 when you swap sides, as a way of really nailing your stretching, so you can exactly 30 seconds and you're stretching symmetrically.
And I loved your use of it. And I've heard quite a few other coaches have done this subsequent to this. Your use of it when you were away at the East Coast Challenge with Basketball Victoria, of having it run the warm-up, having them actually run off that.
Yep. So instead of me yelling out every 30 seconds, I just give it to one athlete, like you're the captain now, you're in charge.
Yeah.
Every time it beeps, that change, and they would do that. And so it's just
great.
like put the phone down and
I
save my voice, and
yeah.
it was nice. Yeah,
That's great.
So that's the stretching time, which is by far the one I use the most, which might be a reflection of my lack of anaerobic training right now. But then the next feature we added was the custom one. And the custom one was the best because you could then make whatever you wanted.
I love the custom one. So I have, for me, I've got my plank.
Oh, you got a bunch.
Yeah, I have my planks. So my front planks supersetted with my back planks.
Yep.
So 42 seconds each.
42. I know why. Go on.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So the idea that 42 is the meaning of life, and I just seemed like a good number, and I just did it because I hate doing the planks, but it made me chuckle a bit when I did them. So it was
fair enough.
And then
and 30 is a bit low if you've been doing planks consistently. Got to be above 30.
Yeah. And then so I've got that in, and my calves. I find counting reps on calf raises really annoys me. I like to go higher. I like to go. One of the problems with the calf raise is that it's such a short range of motion that you don't get much time under tension. And as we'll talk about in a few minutes, time under tension is really, really important. So
particularly for the calves, ironically.
Yeah. So if you're just doing, and also for the tendons, we'll make sure we talk about that as well. If you're just doing 10 or 12 reps on a calf raise, you're just not getting enough time under tension. You're stopping well short of where you're going to get much benefit.
Because 10 to 12 reps on a squat or a bench press is going to equal 30 to 60 seconds of work.
Yeah.
On a calf raise, it's going to equal about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Half a second up, half a second down. Like you can really fly through.
It doesn't take long. So yeah, I have it for my calves.
How long do you do per set?
So I do on my standing calves, I call it 90-second calves. So I do 90 seconds on each.
Self-explanatory.
And then gym seated calves, what do? I do 50 seconds on, and and then just alternate between them.
Nice. I do for my seated calf. I do 45 on, 15 off.
Yep.
But I do double leg. Are you doing single leg for yours?
Double leg.
Double leg,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's no right answer here. It's just about getting time into them. We've just found different ways to attack.
And I do my last one I do as an isometric hold, and I lean on the seated calf thing to make it like a super maximal.
I add extra body weight. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Clever. Yeah. Yes, that's custom, and you can save your custom workouts. You can give them names, and then they've got a little bin next to them if you want to delete them if you change your mind afterwards. So you do your isometric work. You can build 5-minute abs into it, which is another workout we've got a vlog for. You can do whatever you like with that as long as it has a sort of start-stop. And we also built into the custom, so people talk about intervals in terms of reps. So if you're doing 30 rounds of 8 and 12s, that's a rep. Each 8-second effort is a rep. What we also built in is sets. So with your sprinting, you might want to do 12 40-meter sprints over a workout. But if you just did 12 sprints with 30 seconds rest, that quickly becomes aerobic as you pace to jog through them. So what you can do is you can break your 12 reps, 12 efforts up into 3 sets of 4. So you can get longer rest every 3 sprints. So you do 4 sprints, have a longer rest, 4 sprints, have a longer rest, 4 sprints, have a longer rest. So that's your sets feature within the custom there as well, which is an underused, but I think a really important feature.
That's great. And someone mentioned to me a while ago, they were like, oh, I could just use my stopwatch. It's like, yeah, you can. That's great. Good on you.
This is still free though. We're not charging for it.
Yeah. But the big thing to me is that having a prescribed program that you've set out, I'm going to do this, like the past you has said you were going to do, is so good for making you not underwork, and also really good for making you not overwork. Like calm, collected you decided strategically to do it this way.
Like in our last episode when we talked about the vibrating roller.
Calm, collected you said 5 minutes.
And doing approximately 45 to 60 seconds. And probably less if you're brand new to vibrating rolling training as well.
I can't believe I let myself down there.
5 minutes. So you can, I said I would do 30 rounds of 8 and 12s. It says 3 to go. Keep going.
And then it says last round. It's a nice feature. The last round feature's nice.
The last round, and then the last sound is different as well. It's like, darn, thank goodness. It's quite rewarding.
The only thing on it, you've reminded me on the 8 and 12s, it's amazing how many people are ruining that and doing 7 and 13s.
Yeah.
Because everyone...
Talk about that for a second.
All right.
That's a gripe for me as well.
So the beauty of 8 and 12s is that it circumvents our natural requirement and love of pacing.
Tendency to pace.
Tendency to pace. So what it does, and it means that you really, like, if you've got to go for 30 seconds, most people will hold back a little bit.
For 28 seconds, 27 seconds.
And then they go for it then. If you have to go for a minute, you're going to hold back even more. If you have to go for 10 minutes, you're going to hold back more. But everyone, no matter how soft you are mentally.
Because one of the whole overarching themes and theories around fatigue in general is that the brain is really smart at knowing how long you're going for and therefore holding back the energy.
Because it's trying to make you not spend ATP.
So if you're saying, all right, brain, we're doing a 20-meter sprint, it's like, okay, have at it. Go for it. Whereas if you say, all right, brain, we're doing 200 meters, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'll give you like a good 150 and then a hard 50. Like it's very in control of how much ATP it's letting you burn.
Really inhibiting that, yeah. And so the 8 and 12 thing gets around that because it's like, I'm going to go hell for leather, genuine 10 out of 10, nothing in the tank for 8 seconds. And everyone can do that. Like it's just not that. By the time the pain of it has started to bother you, it's over.
I noticed that the other day when I did some skill mill sprints on our curved treadmill. It was a bit rainy and windy, and I live around the corner, so we sort of hurried in on our bikes and did sprints instead of a long run. And we did, Amanda, my partner, and I, we did 30 on each, 30 off. And I didn't notice the pain of the 30-second sprint until after I got off the skill mill. And so I'm reasonably anaerobically fit, so I've got a good lactic system just genetically. But I'd get off, and that's when my lungs would just go and tighten up.
Interesting.
But yeah, again, notice the same thing. It's like the pacing. It's like if I'm doing 30-second sprints, I was nowhere near as hard as 10s.
So the idea of the 8 and 12 is 8 seconds of really hard effort, 12 seconds of rest, and you'll actually genuinely be pushing at your capacities. You're pushing the envelope of your fitness rather than just being active.
Rather than just tickling it.
Yeah. But the problem is that it's very easy to undermine that without really noticing it by what everyone does is they anticipate the bell a bit on the switch off and they load up too late on the go. So they're actually not, because it's got to be a flying start. It's got to be actually at speed and at load when the bell goes, and you get 8 seconds of maximum output and then off. It can't be that you're just, because some people, they'll turn into 5 seconds on. And
then they won't start until, because here's the thing. So we talked, my brother Davey, who did a lot of the development work on this, did some great stuff there. We talked about this, how do we get around that problem? And so what we did was we actually built into all of the timers, it counts you into the sprint, but it doesn't count you out of the sprint.
Yes.
So the problem with, and this is one of the main reasons we built this, is most timers give you a 3, 2, 1, go, and then you're sprinting, go, and then it goes 3, 2, 1, rest. And people hit the 3 and they're like, oh, thank goodness I'm done.
Done.
And if you're doing an 8 and 12, that becomes a 4 or 5 second sprint.
Yeah.
And then
the
your ratio is now a mess and it's not worth your time. Whereas we did it where it doesn't bell until the end of the 8 seconds. So you have to go, bell, now turn the gear off.
You've still got to not anticipate the bell. You've got to be on that.
And so it's hard to beat human nature, but we tried.
Yeah.
And so that's your 8 and 12. So you can do those, but make sure they are actual 8s. And that means most of your rest is actually going to be deceleration, acceleration.
Yeah.
It's actually not going to be true. You're going to sit flat
around
for about 2 seconds in the middle there.
Exactly.
Before you start ramping back up. So that was the first version 1, and there were some bug fixes in version 1.1 and a few other little things there.
Yep.
And then this week we have launched version 1.2 and done a whole bunch of upgrades.
Yeah.
Should we talk through the boring ones first?
Sure.
So first of all, there's a couple of sound loading features on Android.
Yep.
We never noticed them, but Davey did, and he fixed them. Fantastic.
Great.
Got a new little logo up the top there.
I like it a lot. Looks cool.
Cool little logo. Centered it and made it a little smaller, so it looks better. Made the buttons smaller too.
Yep.
Because what I noticed on a big screen, those buttons were like ridiculous.
They seem silly.
They're like children's, so they're a little bit better. And we've added the other little thing we've added as well is volume control.
Yeah, which is great.
So when you're doing your sprints, there's now a little volume bar down the bottom, so you can be listening to your music or your podcast while you're doing it, and turn your volume right down.
And just get a little
Little subtle bell instead of it blasting your ears and ruining your hearing. So sorry that took us so long on that one. But then the big feature we added two new timers. The Fartlek timer, so a Fartlek training timer, we'll talk about both these at length. And the second one was a tempo timer for your strength training.
So good. I love them. Let's talk about we've just been talking about all the fitness stuff. Let's talk about the Fartlek timer. So people have the wrong idea of what Fartlek training is as well.
Yeah.
They think it's just a different form of interval training, basically, and it's not. Fartlek is Swedish for speed play.
Correct. Yep.
And the idea is it's actually it's don't stop, but it's pretty random, isn't it?
So people will program themselves a Fartlek day, and then they'll show you exactly what they've written down. I'm going to do 4 by this and 2 by that, and they've got it all written down. That by definition is no longer Fartlek, because a Fartlek workout is you're just going to make it up while you're out there.
Because the thing that I remember being taught was that interval training was, you run 400 and then you rest for a minute, whereas Fartlek training was you run 400 and then you jog
200 and then you sprint 50.
But that's not Fartlek. Yeah, it's just not. It's actually a fair bit more random. Yeah.
Yes. So the
not to say there's anything wrong with the other version. That's still good.
Yeah. And this isn't to say that you stop all the other training and just do Fartlek. I think Fartlek has been misinterpreted and then over structured, because a lot of people who do this sort of stuff love their structure and their numbers. But the point of Fartlek is kind of to break up the monotony of your numbers and just to sort of experiment with your speeds.
Well, and I think what it also does is I think one of the problems with off-season conditioning is that it's very predictable and you have a real sense of exactly where you're at because I'm nearly at the end of the finish line and all these things.
And therefore your brain can pace, like we talked about before.
Yeah, whereas I think the beauty of a properly implemented Fartlek training is that it's helping him mimic another element of the demands of competitive sport. The only problem is it requires, unless you have an app, it requires a coach to randomly, because you can't you won't randomly do it to yourself properly. You won't say, right, go really hard now,
because again, your brain will pace for you and go, no, this is another moderate. Do moderate again, and we'll just hold off on the hard.
So tell us how you've organised it so that it makes it get that randomised benefit.
So I've been thinking about for a while. It's like I'd love to just
And I mean, if you don't already know this, Jacob is full metabolic fitness nerd.
Love this stuff. I think it's very interesting. I think I love it a bit because I'm good at it too.
Yeah.
It's the one part of sport that I was actually quite good at was the anaerobic stuff. Couldn't jump very high, couldn't run very far, but put me in the middle and it was great. Maybe not great, but I was okay. Anyway, the question is creating a random generator is pretty easy in terms of coding it. But how do you make it so it's both challenging and random, but also still physiological possible? Because what you don't want is for it to bug out and just go hard, 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 or give you like a hard of like 3 minutes, because that's now undermining the point of hard because you'll now pace because it's 3 minutes.
Yeah. You will pace it, yeah.
So I thought about making it so you could customize it yourself and you could like tell it how many different speeds you wanted and different colors. And it's like, that's just going to be a months and months of work to make that work.
And also no one would use it. People want simple.
People want simple, exactly. So what we've decided to do is you've got 3 speeds. You've got hard, moderate, and easy. And you can call them whatever, right? You can call it sprint, tempo, walk. You can call it walk, jog, run, whatever works for you. You might be different on a bike or in the pool or whatever. But you've got hard can be between 5 and 30 seconds. So it is genuinely a sprint. You can actually sprint for 30 seconds. And you can also sprint for 5 seconds. Moderate is 20 to 60 seconds. So you can do a moderate tempo, like a threshold type effort, out to 60 seconds. And then easy is somewhere in the middle. It's 10 to 40 seconds. So you've got those 3 speeds, and it has to be constrained within those times. And so what the timer will do is it will randomly give you hard, moderate, and easy in a random order. So I did one the other day and went hard, easy, hard, easy. And I was like, oh, it's broken. It's just doing hards and easy. And then it also went moderate, hard, moderate, hard. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. It's like, bring back the easy. So it will give you those 3 different speeds, and it will never do the same in a row. So you won't be able to go hard straight into another hard. So it's built to go, into something different that's not itself. And it really works. Like I did it the other day.
So you did on the bike?
I did bike, and I did gear 13 for my hard, gear 10 for my easy, and gear 7 for my rest. And easy was like turning the legs over so slow. Whereas the other two, moderate was like an aerobic type pace, and then hard was a flat out sprint. And it was tough. And I was doing it, and I was just sprinting, and then it's like, because normally like you sprint and it's like, the rest, when the bell goes, I get to rest. And I was like, no, it went orange. It's like, no, that means keep going. That's tempo now. So you have to you can't go all the way off. You have to go to like that semi-off and then maintain kind of that 400 type pace.
Which is much more like sport, because sport, there'll be a turnover, something will happen, you'll have to run fast, your opponent will break away from you. It's not in your control, and it's not, in some sports it is, but for a lot of team sports, most team sports, it's pretty random. Yeah.
And so that's what this is for. So now you just set up a warm up, a cool down, and how long you want to do fartlek for. And
how long would you suggest?
I did 10 because I hadn't done much interval bike stuff. I've done road bike, but not much sprint bike.
And my feeling is that this is one that lends itself particularly well to bike. And you would want to be a little bit careful with the running, because if it was exposing you to a whole bunch of high speed running for speeds that you weren't used to.
Yeah, so for people like Durham and I, who do sort of more recreational running, no real team sport playing at the moment, I would start very carefully on it if you are going to run, but I would try and use more for bike for us.
I think bike's the sweet spot where you can smash it. There's no risk, no drama. You could overcook yourself and hurt a hammy or a calf or something if you were doing it with running and you were really going at it.
Yeah, so in that sense, if you're the situation where it would be good for running is for your footballers and your soccer players, those athletes who play on a bigger pitch. But I would just start with like easy being walk, moderate being cruisy run, and then all out hard wouldn't be a sprint. It would be more like a tempo run. So you just bring all your speeds down a notch, I suppose you'd say.
Just to take it back a little. You'd also have the problem of having to have your phone with you when you're running,
which is a little tricky, but you can, you've got skins now with pockets and stuff like that, or the arm straps. And what's also cool about the fartlek timer is it tells you what's coming up next, so you don't have to look at the screen. So if you've got your headphones in and you've got the volume set up and you've got your music, it will say hard in 3, 2, 1, and then the bell goes. Cool. So you don't have to look at the screen while you're going, which is pretty cool as well. So you can effectively in that sense do it running. If you've got waterproof headphones, you could do it in the pool as well. If you've got Bluetooth headphones, you wouldn't have to be with it. So you can do it that way as well, which is pretty cool.
Can you take your phone in the pool?
Well, I wouldn't take your phone in the pool.
I see. If
some phones are water resistant, but I would if you've got waterproof headphones.
I gotcha.
Because Bluetooth, like a lot of Bluetooth now will cover 20 meters, so you should be able to get that in. But I don't think so. People are going to get excited about it and they're going to just do fartlek now. But I think it is a complement to your other training because it's still not going to be as intense as your 8 and 12s because you're not having the sprints every 12 seconds like you are with the 8 and 12s. But it's a good change up if you do a lot of off legs if you're on the off season. I'm going to mix up, so I'm just going to do a fartlek and just, because, speed play, it's a bit of fun. It's tough, but it's challenging in a different kind of way.
Fun is a weird word for it, but yeah.
Fun if you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So what else? What else we got?
Yeah, so that's the fartlek timer. And I'd start with like sort of 8 to 10 minutes, but you can eventually get that out to sort of 20 minutes of work, particularly with the bike because less risk there of injury, of course. Yep. And then the next new timer is the tempo timer. Which was also a tricky one to build in terms of you can fully customize it. You can do it for, so they can do it however they like. We can do it, with controlled settings. And we end up deciding like fully constrained. So it follows these exact rules, which are pretty universal tempo-based rules. So there's a bunch of settings.
Well, let's take it back a step. So the reason that a tempo timer is useful is that it's very, very common that we will try and avoid pain. And so we will be very fast on the eccentric. One of the biggest things is it just slows people down. We tend, if you're doing a bench press, people tend to, they'll grind the weight up and almost just bounce it off the chest on the way down. And so what you're getting is a lot of elastic work, which is sometimes good. There's a time and a place for that. But you're often missing out on a lot of strength gains and a lot of hypertrophy gains because you're just too hasty on the descent. And so the beauty of any form of tempo timer is you can actually say, okay, I want this amount of time on the way down, this amount up, and you can have a way of increasing your overall time under tension, which is such an important element of strength and hypertrophy gains.
And a really big deal as well if you're doing pause type work. So if you're doing, particularly in powerlifting, that was one of the big sort of audiences I thought of when building this, is less for us but more for people outside of here, is if you're doing like a squat with a pause or a bench with a pause and you're supposed to be doing a 3-second pause, 1, 2, 3, back up.
Yeah, we always count fast.
So people count so fast on that eccentric on that pause. So I wanted to build a system where you could actually, and the other thing with tempo timers is if you're counting 3 seconds down, 2 seconds at the bottom, 2 seconds up, so many countings, how many reps have I done?
Yeah, you just get lost. Yeah.
Very quick to get lost.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's quite a good way. I mean, I remember Mike Ball used to do it where he just had a metronome. And so it was just having to count along with that, which made it a bit easier. But even so.
And then you got a metronome in your gym all day long.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying as well. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, and so the settings are you either have an up or a down first. So you're either doing an eccentric an exercise with an eccentric portion first or a concentric portion. So effectively deadlift versus squat. So a squat, you're going to go eccentric, you're going to lower down first, and this is just so that you can sort of start with the timer effectively. There's a ready time so that you can get yourself in position, so you don't have to run from the timer across to your bar in the
if I'm squatting, I'm probably setting that at least 10 seconds because it takes a while to kind of snuggle into position and
unrack it, walk back, exactly. Yeah. So give yourself some time to get set. If you're bench pressing, get yourself on the bench, get your shoulders in position, away you go. Then you've got your down phase, your bottom pause phase, your up, your top, and then the number of reps. So effectively following the sort of the numbers that people use, like the 4, 2, X, 1 type tempo type timing.
And so this is great for strength training, great for hypertrophy training, also super useful for tendon-based training.
That's exactly what I was thinking with this. So you can be accurately timing your tempo stuff.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So Dr. Ebony Rio's research in this area, building on Jill Cook's research, has been really interesting. And one of the things was that we have a cortical inhibition when we have pain in the tendon. So the brain switches off power to that muscle. So if I have Achilles tendinopathy, my brain will switch off power to the calf and it'll inhibit things, which will make it harder for me to strengthen it and harder to fix the problem. One of the ways of getting around that is...
it's sometimes hard to see as well. You can see people who've got a big VMO or a big, healthy sized symmetrical calf, and actually just it doesn't activate.
Yeah, I had it with my quad.
This is the example I was thinking of.
I could not pick it at all until I started to put more work into it. I was like, oh, wow, that's really...
And you start doing your tempo work. It's like, there it is.
And the really cool thing is that for whatever reason, that an external... So you counting yourself doesn't engage you cortically in the same way as you responding to someone else or something else counting.
Tell me more. I didn't know this one. This is new to me.
I don't have much more other than... no, so...
Make it up.
So... they found that people were responding better. They got better results with external cues. So,
better results in terms of tendon pain and muscle activation?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's now regarded as pretty important for your Achilles tendinopathy people. I don't know if it was with all the tendon issues, but it's important to get that external cue, like the voice coming from somewhere else is... The way your brain processes it is different somehow to when you just decide you're going to do it yourself.
So they've done a paper on that?
Pretty sure.
I'll have to dig that one up. I have to give it a read. Cool.
Yeah, so you built a thing with even more benefits than you realised. Well played.
Ahead of the science I didn't know about. And so you can set it up like that. And most importantly, I think it's got that rep counter, so you don't have to worry about counting your 10 reps and counting your seconds all at the same time. So that's really cool. And it talks to you. So if you're doing an exercise like bench, for example, where you can't exactly have your phone within sight, or even if you're doing a squat where you can't have your phone in sight, which is a good thing, it will count you through your headphones.
Play us a tiny bit.
Oh, is yours set up? Mine's not set up.
No, mine's not set up.
It's closer than mine. So Durham's got it set up with down. He's got the ready time set to 5 seconds. He's got a 3-second down, 2-second pause, 2-second up. And you can also set your pauses to 0. So if you don't want to pause, you want to go straight back into the next rep, you can do that. And apologies for the Google Voice, but this is what it's going to sound like.
3, 2, 1, down, 2, 1, pause, 1, up, 1, down, 2, 1, pause, 1, up, 1, down, 2.
It's so cool. I love it.
And so it's got you covered for all the phases of your lift. And meanwhile on the screen, it's also counting your reps as well. So that was 3 reps then we just saw of Durham's tempo time, whatever that play around.
Yeah.
And so the trickiest bit about that was getting the voice to fit inside the 1 second, but not feel like it was rushing you. Because the first version we built it sounded like it was going 1, 2, 3, 4. But it actually wasn't. It was just because the words were kind of unspaced. We had to make it sound a little natural and also fit in the up and the down cue so you didn't lose your place.
That's great.
So a 5 second down, we'll say down, 4, 3, 2, 1. It'll start with the down being the first second count. And so that's how you can use that. And then you can change it so it's up first or down first depending on what you're doing.
Good luck with it. Don't go crazy on any one of the things. It's a matter of just doing a little bit of each thing. But some tempo timing's a pretty good trick. It will humble you a bit though. You'll find that when you have to go slower, when you have to just rely on that, that muscling your way through rather than elasticing your way through, you will have to go down on some weights.
Yeah, and it's not tempo timing isn't for every single exercise. You wouldn't want to tempo every movement you do. No. Some you just want to go as fast and hard as possible. But I did it the other day on my 1 leg down, 2 leg up, single leg RDL, where I'm doing sort of super maximal hip dominant hamstrings. And what I thought was 5 was probably about 3.2 if I was lucky.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it and I'm down like, oh God, that's 2. I've still got 2 seconds to go and I'm already at the floor. So I had to sort of hover there at the bottom. But it worked brilliantly. And
cool.
because the biggest problem with that is you're trying to focus on the eccentric, but you also got to remember not to do too many reps and make sure you keep it symmetrical. Just 5 reps, 5 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 pause rather, and away I went.
I love it. It's great. Guys, if you do think of other things that you want from the app, let us. We've scratched our own itch in terms of the things that we would like. We've got a couple of other things in the pipeline. But if you have other things that you wish it did or something you don't like about it, we would like to change the way you can order it.
That's not a tricky thing. It's just another thing to look at some point is to be able to reorder it. And maybe, just throwing around to you right now, Durham, is maybe we want a section where it's like pre-built workouts and custom workouts. Because if you've got as many custom as you've got, maybe you want your custom ones separate from your pre-built ones in their own list potentially.
Maybe you do, but then again, I think maybe you just want to be able to order them wherever you want, and so you can create a list. You can just drag it to wherever you want it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That might be the first step. And then there was a request a while ago to put it on an Apple Watch. It's a whole new coding platform to do that. And it's also to build it for an Apple Watch, you can't then put it on a Samsung watch. You can't then put it on a Garmin watch. So it's a bit of a single build for each platform. So watches are still a little bit of a new territory for us. So we won't be doing that anytime soon because it's effectively have to build a new app to do that kind of thing, which is pretty time consuming.
Yeah. And we want to keep it free. We want it as a free resource for our athletes and just people that like our stuff. And so I think that the free thing is really important to us.
Yeah. But requests for features or settings, we are all ears.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time. And before you go, hear from our alumni about the online mentorship.
I learnt the theory stuff at uni, but I didn't know how to apply it. And coming to Core Advantage was how I bridged that gap. So I knew the stuff, but I didn't know how to do the stuff.
It was something that I needed to do personally for my own development, and it's allowed me to work in elite sport for now 5 years. So it was a massive help.
I think mentorship is really important and being able to ask questions all the time, and the Core Advantage course allows that because there is a big team of people that you can ask questions.
I get to train professional athletes every week, work really closely with professional athletes, which is awesome. A lot of the skills that I'm applying, I learned through the program at Core Advantage.
It's not just something that you read and then think about and then go, oh, how does that tie into everything? It's something that practical that you can turn around and go, this is exactly how I'm going to apply it. And the concepts that you learn help you as a coach, as a professional, as a person. Yeah, it's awesome. Definitely go and do it.
Semester 3 of the mentorship is now open. Apply at coreadvantage.training/mentorship.